Hello, Forecaster here again, and we are back for Detour number 9. And this is Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. And I don't know how the game got that name, but it's been in development since 1995 and it's still being worked on today. So it's a very interesting game. It's of course based on Rogue. It labels itself as a roguelike, and it is a dungeon exploration game where you are in search of the fabulous orb of Zot. Why? I don't know. Probably because it's worth a lot of money. Maybe. Maybe it's rumored to have great power. Regardless, the game has a number of modes, as you can see. The main one being dungeon crawl, of course. You have a tutorial mode, a hints mode, which is basically dungeon crawl with hints. You have dungeon sprint, and the arena, where you can have groups of monsters fight each other if you want. We're going to have a look at the main game, which is the dungeon crawl. And as you can see, there are a bunch of different races, and new ones are being added occasionally as the game updates. Um, this one is new to me, for example. Humanoid ants. And we're going to play as a human, and then we get to pick our class or background, and this basically determines how you start, what equipment you'll have, and what abilities and or spells. Certain races also can have special abilities, like the Naga I know can spit poison. And the highlighted ones, of course, are backgrounds that we have an affinity for as a human currently. So I'm going to pick a Berserker. And then I get to pick my starting weapon, which you don't always get to do. Sometimes you might get to pick other starting equipment. I'm going to go with a spear, I think, because it gives me some additional reach. And then we start the game. We are plopped down by the entrance. Now if you go back through this, you will of course end the game immediately, failing your mission because you have not found the Orb of Zot. And I'm playing the tile version of the game currently. There is a terminal version, which of course resembles the inspiration for this game, Rogue, which uses ASCII characters to represent your character and monsters and items and such. I find the tile version to be a lot better though, because it's of course a lot easier to see what things are without having to look it up in the documentation. You also get nice tooltips and such. The terminal version is a lot simpler. There's a lot to this game, of course. It's very deep, as you would expect from a game like this that has been worked on for 20 years. More than that. No. Yeah. No. About 20 years. And I leveled up. You can see down here we get a log of events that happens. Let's fight a kobold. There, as you see, so the game is turn-based, sort of. It uses moves or rounds, and for example, currently moving one tile costs or takes one round, and doing certain actions may take more or less than that. Maybe the minimum is one round for an action. I'm not entirely sure. You can see how many has passed since the game started right here. And the game only advances when you do something. So currently the game is frozen. So it's kind of turn-based in that aspect, or that respect maybe. Um, there are things like hunger that you have to take into account. There's a knoll here. I reach level 3. I get to choose an attribute to increase, and one of these 3, and I'm going to increase my strength. You can see my strength up here is currently 18 after the increase. Cobalt corpse is inedible. You can see that when I kill something, I can move over its corpse and then butcher the corpse into chunks of meat that I can eat. However, the chunks will slowly rot away, so they don't last very long. But it is way better doing that and having them rot away than running out of food. Bats are extremely fast. There are a number of ways to control the game. The tile version allows you to use a combination of the mouse and keyboard. Of course, all the shortcuts that work in the terminal version also works in the tile version. For some actions, you're going to want to use... Oh, okay. I fell through a shaft. There was a pitfall trap here, basically. So I now fell down to the previous, or the next floor, and unfortunately it seems that I've fallen down into a group of enemies, which is pretty terrible. So, I might die. Okay, let's take a break. We have a named enemy here, which is usually a lot tougher. I think I'm in a bit of trouble. I have a Berserker Rage that I can activate, should I feel the need to do so. But like I said, the game is extremely deep, and I can't cover all of it. I will only show a limited section of the game. There are a lot of things to discover, some random events that can happen, or random things you can encounter, like a variety of traps, a variety of enemies. There's a huge variety of enemies. Of course, some of them you will only encounter deeper in the dungeon. You're going to find items like this falcon here. I'm not sure how that is pronounced. You're going to find scrolls and potions, and of course these are randomly generated and obscured each game. So this amethyst potion, I don't know what it does. If I drink it, its effect is going to be revealed, and all amethyst potions are going to have the same effect, which is pretty much a standard in the genre. However, next game, an amethyst potion might do something else, will most likely do something else. Same deal with scrolls. One of the most useful scrolls is the scroll of identify, which of course allow you to reveal what things do, like other scrolls and potions. Can also reveal whether items are cursed. And a cursed item, if you equip it, you are not going to be able to unequip it until you remove the curse, which is usually done with a scroll of remove curse. I'm going to activate the Berserker mode just to see if I can survive this, which I probably won't. You are too Berserk. Okay. Having a Berserker mode on limits certain actions, and I tried to hit W to move, which is not a thing you can do. I'm mostly, when in combat, I use the numpad numpad to move because it allows me to move in 8 directions. You can use the arrow keys, which allow you to move in 4 directions, of course. The numpad also allow you to move diagonally. You can also navigate using the mouse by left-clicking. You can also use the map. If you right-click and hold on the map, you can move the view around. Ooh. Had kind of half a hiccup there. Which allow you to move and view distant parts of the map where you've been. You can of course not see what's there because of the fog of war, so to speak. You can also just left click on the map, but you can move the view if you need more precision. And yeah, you have some additional commands like navigation. You have find traps, find shops and portals. I think these only work for things you have discovered, though. It will only cycle through them. You can discover things like secret walls and such, and traps, I think, by waiting near a tile, which will have your character examine your surroundings when you're waiting. It can take a long time, though, so might not always be. It will slow the game down significantly if you go around looking for secret things, but you can if you want. So let's attack this. Is it goblin? Okay. Can also drink this potion, I suppose. I can't because I'm in berserk mode. Okay. Let's just attack them and see what happens. It looks like we're going to win. And we did, and we leveled up. Feel stronger. Strength is currently 24. It's being affected by the Berserker Rage, of course. Translucent rock wall. Sacrificial altar of Rue, the Awakened. So, Rue is a deity, a god. And there are a number of those in this game, and you can randomly find altars to them. I'm currently a follower of, let's see, Trog, who presumably is a god of fighting or killing. Now, you can only follow one deity at a time, so if I wanted to follow Ru instead, I would have to renounce my religion, which would anger Trog, obviously, and I would lose any favors I've acquired through him. Generally, a god wants you to perform certain tasks, like Trog favors killing things and especially killing mages and also burning spell books. And doing these things will gain me favor with Trog, which will eventually unlock more abilities and can also do other things, I think. There are also things that you shouldn't do while following a deity. Like, for example, Trog would probably not like if I were to use magic from a spellbook and start learning spells and such, which wouldn't really be favorable as a berserker anyway. I'm going to rest for a while to regain some health. And then I can see that I lost all the chunks of meat I had, which is a bit annoying. I'm going to pick this up. And then we have some crystal here. We have a snake. I'm going to kill it and hope that it can yield some more food. Come on. die. Poisoned me. No food. A bunch of bats. We have another altar of something unpronounceable, for me at least. Okay, kill that bat. Let's kill this hobgoblin. It's pretty easy. We got one corpse at least that we can butcher for food. I'm going to get hungry eventually. So, like I said, I can't even begin to scrape the surface of this game in this video because there is so much to discover in it, and there are weird areas that can be generated that have interesting features, like trees and giant mushrooms and other things. You might have to chop your way through plants to get in. There can be I've seen ruined doors, which may have effects on them. Oh dear, I might die now. I reached level 5, at least. Okay. I need to butcher all. And it's a game about discovery. And I'm going to rest for a while again until I have full health, allowing all of the meat I had to rot away, but that's going to be fine probably. Some colored stone walls here. Some more enemies to kill. Another altar. Silver altar of Zin. I've heard about this deity before. Certain enemies think this. Certain deities can hate certain types of enemies, like Trog hates mages, for example, and you will gain more favor from killing those than other enemies. Some deities might favor healing people. You can see that I now got another ability called Trog's Hand, which allows me to heal myself. Okay, I'm going to go into Berserker mode, because there are a lot of enemies. And I'm afraid if I hadn't, I probably wouldn't have survived. Alright. We can butcher that cockroach corpse, yes. And we won't bother butchering the kobold because it's inedible anyway. We have a spear. You can throw spears. I think you can throw anything, but spears are suitable for throwing, so that might be good to have. Of course, we don't know if things we pick up are cursed or not, so you have to be careful with that. Just want to explore all the little corners. There is I'm feeling hungry. We can eat a chunk of flesh. You can't eat unless you are hungry, because the chunks of raw flesh are pretty disgusting, which is understandable. You can eat normal rations, which don't expire, by the way, anytime you want, but you should probably save those and eat chunks of flesh if you have them to save on the regular rations. You absolutely do not want to run out of food. It's pretty bad if you do. Oh, we are in some trouble again, so let's activate Berserk again. Kill these things. There we go. Then we can pick up some of these stones. Thought I saw something. Let's see. It's just some bit here that we haven't explored, but I don't think there's going to be anything there. But just to demonstrate, if we turn on Auto Explore, which is also bound to O, and you can reconfigure everything, all the keys. There are also macros and a lot of other stuff. But if I click this, oh, I might have to cancel that first. So if I click this, my character. Oh, did they automatically eat? An enemy came into view, so no, I don't think so. I think it stopped because there's an enemy in view. Okay. There's a bat. So auto explore basically auto moves to where there are undiscovered tiles, and when there aren't any, it's going to say done exploring. So now, since I fell down here, if I wanted to, I could go back up to the previous level through one of these stairs, or I can continue down. And I'm actually going to continue down. So we're going to move this way in this long corridor. There's a quokka. I think that's how you would pronounce that. Should be an easy kill, pretty much. There's a dagger. I don't really want that. That is a dart slug, which fires darts at you, obviously, at range, which is a bit annoying. Let's have another chunk of flesh. We've picked up a couple of scrolls. Now, the only real way to know what these do is to use them, unless you have a way to identify them, which I don't. So I'm going to use that scroll, and it's the scroll of teleportation. So now I've discovered that, I know if I find another one, I will know what it does already, because it will have the same label. So the scroll of teleportation randomly teleports you to somewhere else in the floor, which can help if you're in a fight that you are losing as an escape. Of course, you can't control where you teleport to, so you might end up in a worse fight if you are unlucky. I am going to use the Trog's Hand ability to heal me up so I don't die. But yeah, I don't really have much more to say about this game. If I didn't want to make the video too long, I would just keep playing for hours, maybe, or however long the run lasts, which could be quite a while. Oh dear. Berserker mode. Oh, I reached level 6. Let's increase my dexterity a bit to improve my chance to hit. And then start butchering corpses. But yeah, it's a great game to pass a lot of time. Oh, it was a scroll of identify. Let's identify this potion. Why not? It's a potion of invisibility. That might come in handy at some point. Who knows? Oh dear. Let's retreat and rest. Oh, you automatically eat while you're resting, apparently. I guess. Or auto-exploring. Well, I think this is a mage, or a wizard, so I probably will gain more favor. Shot a magic dart at me. for killing this than I would other enemies. Trog appreciates your killing of a magic user. Yes, indeed. He had a robe, which I don't really want. I have no use for a robe. Robes are useful for magic users, obviously, because wearing armor inhibits spellcasting, which is one of the things you need to take into account in this game. I found 2 potions. Let's drink a fuming gray potion. There's a potion of might. Could have had that before the fight. Oof. I'm incredibly strong right now, although the effect will wear off soon. So a chunk of flesh. But yeah, I'm going to end the video here. If you're interested in these types of games, roguelikes, and games about discovering things and overcoming hurdles, sometimes the game can be a bit unfair, but that's just the way of these games. And you are just going to have to... Are you fleeing? Come back here. You just hadn't seen me yet. Which is what the question mark means. There's a door. Ooh, okay. It's a priest and a wizard. Let's berserk these fools. Don't think the priest doesn't count as a magic user apparently, which is a shame. 2 chainmails. Let's kill this lizard. A hand axe. You can pick that up. That was in our list of starting weapons. Ooh, and a dagger of venom. Good for sneak attacks, which doesn't surprise me at all. Very hungry. Let's fix that. I'm also exhausted from the berserk, which probably has a negative effect on my... Ooh. A wand of random effect. See, these are the kinds of random, interesting things you can find in this game. And that is where I'm going to leave it. And I will see you in the next video. I should probably also mention that the game has built-in documentation in addition to the tutorial. So if you press, or if you send a question mark, which for me is shift and the key with the question mark on it, it will open the in-game documentation, which is quite extensive. As you can see, it has a bunch of categories. It takes you through the beginning of the game, exploring the dungeon, spellcasting, religion, macros and options and such, list of characters, species, pretty much everything. Monsters, you can have a look at the monsters. As you can see, we can flip through this. It will tell you about monster attributes. A lot of text. I think we might have gone past it actually. Yeah, item usage. Items. I didn't see that. The monster section was actually pretty small. But yeah. So there's a lot of documentation in this game, but if you use the tile version, it's pretty easy to get started, at least. Also, I just found a Trident of Flaming, which was a ruined trident until I tried equipping it, whereupon its effect was revealed. And also found this interesting area with some stone walls with doors in them. And just had a potion of heal wounds while I was at 1 health, where I was left after being poisoned. Ooh. Ah, some altars, and that profane servitor wielding a whip of flaming trapped in translucent stone. Interesting. What is this? Foul pestilence. There's a cloud of foul pestilence here. It looks like those are stationary. I don't know what that means. See, this game just keeps going. This might be the end, though. Maybe not. No, looks like I'll be fine. But yeah, there are more things to discover in this game than you could possibly imagine. And that is an angel trapped in translucent stone.